And it's been interesting just for her to hear that some of the products friends were using were not very clean. And so she was happy that she was using something that was a better quality product. And now she is, on this routine at an early age of how to care for her skin.
You're listening to Essential Oil Conversations, the podcast for busy women who love natural living, friendship, and a little bit of entrepreneurship too. Heather, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are going to talk about the HD Clear essential oil and the other products in the line, which includes a face wash and a face lotion.
Yeah, and this is a blend of oils. So you want to tell us what all is in there?
I can do that. So in the oil itself, it is black cumin seed oil, hoe wood leaf, melaleuca leaf, litsea berry, eucalyptus leaf, and geranium. And so that is in the oil. Obviously, the wash and the lotion probably have additional ingredients, but this is supposed to be for smooth, clean complexion and to help with breakouts and blemishes. It cleanses and hydrates the skin, and it's formulated so that it can be used for all ages. And so doTERRA has quite a few different options when it comes to skincare. I particularly use the Virage line because I feel like that has worked well for me. But this is what my kids use because it's supposed to be a little bit more gentle for their skin. They are 10 and 13. And they have done well for this. I think my son uses face wash. He showers 1 to 2 times a day at this point. And so he's using that. And then he'll use the roll-on oil if he has a specific breakout. But my daughter, I think she likes the face wash and the lotion and the oil. So she kind of uses the whole line. She actually really likes the clay mask that doTERRA has too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is going away.
No. Okay. Well, I will have to buy another one before it is gone. Thank you for that information.
Unfortunately, because that really is awesome. When I was first introduced to HD Clear, it was the only skin line that they had. And so they've expanded that quite a bit. And since I was a young teenager until mid-30s, had really horrible skin issues. And so I had high hopes, and it did not help me, but it ends up my skin issues were tied to food sensitivities. So just want to put that caveat out there. Like, it definitely can be amazing for some people, but a lot of times skin issues are deeper than the surface of the skin.
Agree with that. And I've got prepubescent kids, the older one kind of starting to go through that. And he's very sporty and so constantly sweaty. And so he definitely gets breakouts either way. My hope is that at the least it's keeping his skin clear and minimizing the breakouts that would be coming from the skin not being clean. And so I think that it does help that way. In fact, we've talked a lot about don't just use it on your face, go ahead and use it on your shoulders and upper back too, because it can clean that skin the same way. I totally agree with the food part. He is a super clean eater, so I know his breakouts aren't necessarily from food. I think his are more from puberty effects, hormonal changes, being active in sports, that type of thing. But if this can minimize it and at least keep their skin clean and honestly get them on a healthy skin routine, then I think it's good. Because like you said, I had plenty of skin issues growing up, and anybody that grew up in the 90s probably remembers those like super stingy little pads.
Eczema.
The circular pads that you would wipe your face with. And it was terrible. If it didn't sting, it probably wasn't doing its job, was kind of my theory. And I don't think that's true. And my daughter, who was in 5th grade last year, they had a research project that they had to do that was either on sustainability or how to improve products for the future. And one of her really good friends did clean skincare. And it was interesting listening to her presentation, but yet my daughter would also come home and kind of like ask a lot of questions. Well, is the HD Clear line, does it have this, this, and this in it? Is it clean? And so we actually have had quite a few conversations about skincare recently. And it's been interesting just for her to hear that some of the products friends were using were not very clean. And so she was happy that she was using something that was a better quality product. And now she is, on this routine at an early age of how to care for her skin. Because the other thing that came up a lot is there's a lot of fifth grade girls, there may have been even some in fourth grade, that are already using these very aggressive skin products that their parents use on their very fragile faces. They had to speak with a mentor when it came to this project, and the mentor basically said, look, at your age, you really can simply clean your skin with just water if you really want to. You know, you need to be making sure you're using a washcloth, use some water every day. But if you are going to use a skincare line, make sure that it's clean and for sensitive skin. And a lot of these girls weren't doing that. And so it's kind of
Yeah.
sad to think about how people are using aggressive products or things that are possibly hormone disruptors at a very early age. So, all that to be said, happy that my kids are on a routine with clean products. Even if we still see breakouts, I think it's a good place for us to start.
I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, just like as you're talking, I'm thinking of all the random products that I bought as a kid to try to address it. And I knew nothing about natural and, clean products and all of that. So, yeah, they're definitely set up for much healthier skin barriers because of that. So, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, which
Mm-hmm.
version of skincare do you use at this point?
I use the anti-aging one. And the reason why I do it, actually, the dermatologist that's on the medical board for doTERRA is my dermatologist. And I was using Virage, but not having great, like it just didn't feel like it was working well. And when I went to see her, she told me my skin was too sensitive for it. So Virage is the most natural one. But if your skin is super sensitive, it doesn't really matter. And so she recommended the anti-aging one for me. And so that's what I've been using. But it would be interesting to maybe try Virage again because I've done so much healing of my skin that I feel like it probably is not as sensitive anymore. So maybe it's time to switch again. So yeah. Okay. Well, anything else on HD Clear?
I am thankful that it's available for my kids' young, sensitive skin and that they've got a product to start with. And I'm also glad that doTERRA has a few different options so that there's something for everyone.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks so much for listening. We will have a brand new episode for you next week.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.